You probably never heard about this game. It wasn't on TV. It didn't trend on social media. No packed stadium, no fancy broadcast. Just a muddy training ground, a silent crowd, and a 17-year-old kid playing like his entire future depended on it. Because it did. Cristiano Ronaldo had already been hyped as the next big thing. But hype fades fast, especially when you're young and unproven. By the time this match happened, most people had already moved on. Coaches, agents, scouts, everyone. They were looking at newer talents, flashier players. Meanwhile, Cristiano was fighting a different kind of battle, the one where nobody's watching but everything still counts. This is the story of a match that never made the headlines, but changed the course of football history. A match where one missed call could have changed everything. A handshake that didn't happen. A contract that wasn't on the table. And yet, out of all that silence, came the birth of something unshakable. In today's episode, we go back to the night Cristiano. It wasn't a final. It wasn't even televised. Just another rainy evening at a second division training ground in Portugal. A practice match. No cameras. No fans. But for Cristiano, this game felt like the World Cup final. It came at a moment when the buzz around his name had started to fade. The early headlines, the excitement, the predictions, they were starting to disappear. Whispers followed him now. Doubts. Maybe he peaked too early. Maybe the hype had been just that, hype. The opponent wasn't even a league rival. Just a visiting youth team from Italy. They were in Lisbon on tour, looking for a challenge. No one at the club gave it much thought. It was meant to keep the boys sharp, nothing more. But for Cristiano, this was a lifeline. This was a statement. This was survival. From the second he stepped onto that soaked field, he moved like the game owed him something. In the third minute, he launched a shot from 30 yards out. It didn't go in. It slammed against the post. But it made everyone on the sideline look up. Who takes that shot in a match like this? Only someone with something to prove. He didn't talk to his teammates. Didn't high-five anyone. He didn't celebrate either of the 2 goals he scored in the first half. He just kept playing like the pitch was dry, like the mud wasn't dragging at his boots, like every second mattered. And to him, it did. By halftime, the field had turned to sludge. Players slipped, lost interest, jogged to avoid injury. But Ronaldo? He kept sprinting. He played as if there were scouts from every club in Europe watching. There weren't. Just 40 people sat in the tiny stands, most of them family and board staff. But one of them, was from Manchester United. Late in the second half, he slipped hard. His legs went out from under him. His shoulder hit the ground with a crack, and the game froze. Teammates and opponents paused. But Cristiano didn't. He stood, face smeared with mud, wiped it with the back of his sleeve, and sprinted after the ball like nothing happened. Possessed. Focused. Relentless. After the match, there were no interviews. No locker room celebrations. The coach said well done without looking up. But Ronaldo didn't care. He sat alone on the bench for a while, watching the empty field. His shirt clung to him, soaked and filthy. The floodlights buzzed overhead. An assistant coach came over. "You all right?" Cristiano nodded. They'll remember this one day. Even if nobody saw it. And he was right. Because that one scout in the stands? He made a call that night. A call that would change everything. But Cristiano didn't know that yet. He went home soaked and quiet, head filled with more questions than answers. Later, in his room, he opened his notebook. The same one he'd been writing in since he was 14. He scribbled one line across a blank page. "Play every game like it's your last audition." Then he put the pen down and stared at the words. He didn't know who'd ever read them. Maybe no one. Maybe that was okay. Because he believed it. And that belief was enough. That night, Ronaldo's phone buzzed once. Then stopped. He looked over, half asleep. Missed call. Unknown number. No voicemail. No message. Just silence. He let the phone drop back onto the bed and closed his eyes. But he couldn't sleep. His muscles ached from the game. The mud was still caked under his fingernails. His thoughts kept spinning. Had the game really mattered? Had anyone important even seen it? Was he fooling himself, thinking that tonight changed anything? Across Europe, in a quiet hotel room in Manchester, a scout sat up straight in his chair. "You're not going to believe this," he said into the phone. 17. Portuguese. Fast. Sharp. But that's not it. He plays like his life depends on it. Every touch, every move. On the other end, a man just said, "Send the tape." But there was no tape. No cameras. No broadcast. Just a memory burned into one scout's mind. Back in Lisbon, Ronaldo stepped into a freezing shower. The boiler was broken again. Water hit him like ice, but he didn't flinch. He let it pour down over his head like it was washing off the weight of the whole season. In the morning, his mom asked, "Who called?" He shrugged. "Wrong number, I think." But something in his gut said otherwise. 3 days passed. Nothing. No call. No text. Not from the club. Not from his agent. The city moved on. His teammates laughed at training. Another match was coming up. Another week. Just another grind. And then it came. He was eating breakfast when his mom called from the kitchen. "Cristiano." "Telephone." "It's from England." He wiped his hands on a towel and picked up the phone. "Hello? Cristiano? This is Carlos Queiroz." He froze. "I'm with Manchester United. I work with Sir Alex Ferguson. We've heard about your match, and we'd like to meet you. Would you be open to visiting?" For a moment, he couldn't speak. His mind raced. Was this a joke? A prank? But no one laughed. He looked at his mother, eyes wide, her hands covering her mouth. She was already crying. "Yes," he said. "Of course." "Good. We'll be in touch with the details." "And Cristiano?" "Yes? We don't make calls like this often. Don't take it lightly." He didn't. That night, he skipped training. Not because he was tired. He just needed quiet. He went for a run instead. Alone. Just the sound of his feet on wet pavement and the distant hum of traffic. With every step, he repeated the words, "Manchester didn't smell like home." The air was heavier, thicker with fog and something cold you couldn't shake. Ronaldo stepped off the plane holding a small backpack. No entourage. No translator. Just him, a wrinkled sporting jacket, and that notebook in his back pocket. A man from the club met him at the airport. "Cristiano, right? Come on. Car's this way." No one asked him how the flight was. No cameras. No fanfare. Just a short ride through rainy streets and a quick check-in at a plain hotel near the training ground. The room was gray, like everything else in the city. Bed. Desk. Window. Nothing more. The next morning, they brought him to Carrington. Not for a signing. Not for a press conference. Just to see. The staff didn't really talk to him. One trainer gave him a nod. Another handed him a training bib. That was it. He joined a group of players warming up. No introductions. No handshakes. Just a line of young men stretching in silence. The drills started. Passing triangles. Position rotations. Nothing flashy. But Cristiano wasn't here to be flashy. He was here to be seen. Every pass was sharp. Every sprint full throttle. He didn't smile. Didn't speak. Just moved. One coach whispered, "He's intense." Another nodded. "Let's see how long he keeps it up." He did. Even after practice, when the rest hit the showers, Ronaldo stayed. Running sprints alone. Over and over. until the trainers told him the lights were shutting off. Day 2. Same routine. Early to the facility. Quiet during breakfast. Straight to drills. He started taking on defenders in one-on-one drills. Some he beat. Some he didn't. But he never backed off. That night, back in the hotel, he wrote only one sentence. They're not sure yet. Make them sure. Day 3. The sky darker than usual. Rain again. But something was different. Sir Alex was there. He didn't say a word. Just stood behind the glass in the observation room, arms crossed, eyes narrowed. Ronaldo didn't look up. Didn't acknowledge the presence. He just played harder. Faster. He darted between cones like his legs were wired. He intercepted passes. Pressed teammates. Demanded the ball with every step. After the session, everyone was quiet. No one knew what to say. Did he impress? Did it matter? In the evening, it didn't feel like a big moment. The walls were plain. The chair was too stiff. And the table? Just a wooden slab in the middle of a quiet room. No banners. No cameras. No agents in suits. Just Ronaldo. Sitting. Waiting. He wasn't nervous. He was ready. The door opened. Slowly. No rush. Sir Alex walked in alone. No entourage. No folder under his arm. Just him, legend, manager, and mystery, all in one. He sat down across from Cristiano, eyes steady, unreadable. "You think you're ready?" he asked, voice calm. Cristiano looked him in the eye. "Yes." Sir Alex didn't smile. "You're young. You've got fire. But raw fire burns out fast if you don't learn to control it. I will. You've never played at this level. You'll get kicked. Tested. Doubt will creep in. And if you mess up, the press will eat you alive." Cristiano leaned forward. "Then I won't mess up." That made Sir Alex pause. Then, finally, a smile. Small. Almost invisible. He stood up. "Welcome to Manchester United." Just like that. No applause. No press release. He walked out, leaving Cristiano alone again. Seconds later, a club staffer entered holding a thick stack of papers. "Contract," he said, placing them on the table. Ronaldo picked up the pen. Didn't read. Didn't ask. He signed. All of it. Back at the hotel, he didn't celebrate. No music. No calls to friends. Just sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. His mom called. "Did it happen?" He nodded, even though she couldn't see it. "Yes." There was silence. Then the sound of soft crying. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. "Don't be proud yet," he said. "Let me earn it." Later that night, he walked down the hotel hallway, alone. On the wall, there was a single framed photo of George Best, taken years ago. Black and white. Eyes fierce. Hair wild. Cristiano stared at it for a long time. Then took out his notebook. He wrote. Even legends start in rooms where no one claps. He didn't sleep much that night. Too many thoughts. Too much ahead. The pressure hadn't even started yet. Tomorrow, the headlines would. It wasn't even an official match. Just a pre-season friendly against a local club in the outskirts of Manchester. But to Cristiano Ronaldo, it might as well have been the World Cup final. He woke up before the alarm. Tied his boots 3 times. Checked his gear, then checked it again. At breakfast, he barely touched the eggs. Just stared at his water glass like it was a mirror. This was it. The first time he'd wear the Manchester United jersey. He sat in the team bus like a statue. Didn't joke. Didn't talk. He stared out the window while the city passed in a blur, already playing the game in his head, stepovers, crosses, goals. At the stadium, the changing room buzzed with noise. Laughter, music, trash talk. Cristiano was silent. He pulled his socks up slowly, laced his boots like a ritual, looked down at the red shirt folded neatly on the bench. Number 28. Not glamorous. But it didn't matter. It was his. Sir Alex popped his head into the room. 15 minutes. Cristiano stood up, rolled his shoulders, and walked toward the tunnel. The grass smelled different here. The lights were brighter. The crowd, about 20,000, didn't roar, but they were loud enough. Curious, not excited. He wasn't starting. He knew that. Didn't care. He sat on the bench, hands on his knees, legs bouncing like they had their own heartbeat. 62nd minute. Ronaldo, the assistant coach, called. "You're in." He peeled off his warm-up like armor, jogged to the sideline, took a deep breath. The fourth official held up the board, 28 on, 11 off. As he stepped onto the pitch, time slowed down. Every blade of grass looked like it had been waiting just for him. First touch? Clean. He spun away from his marker and darted down the flank. Cross. Corner. Another touch. He didn't score. Didn't need to. The crowd leaned forward. Whispered. Then, something changed. They started clapping. Then cheering. Then chanting. "Ronaldo! Ronaldo!" The other players noticed. You could see it in their faces, something different was happening. Sir Alex crossed his arms in the dugout. Said nothing. But inside, he knew. This kid wasn't just another prospect. He was a storm. By the time the match ended, Ronaldo had created 2 chances, drawn a foul, and outrun nearly everyone. In the tunnel, he walked past a staffer who whispered, "Well done." He didn't reply. In the locker room, he sat on the bench, shirt soaked, breathing heavy. The others were laughing again, back to normal. Cristiano was still locked in. He grabbed his towel, wiped his face, and reached into his bag. Pulled out the notebook. Flipped to a blank page. He wrote, "They saw me." Then underlined it. Twice. That night, back at the hotel, he stood by the window. The city lights blinked below. He didn't smile. Didn't cry. He just stood there, like a soul, and that was the game that saved his future. A night no one saw. A pitch no one remembers. But a fire that never went out. If this story moved you, if it made you look at Ronaldo's journey with new eyes, then help us share it with more people. Drop a like, leave a comment, and tell us what part hit you the hardest. And if you love untold stories like this, subscribe. There are so many more coming.